The following podcast contains alcohol-enhanced conversations about alcohol, as well as a potential for discussions about other topics of dubious, disturbing, possibly offensive, but usually hilarious interest. The opinions stated herein are solely of the person stating them, and any endorsement of these opinions by any other party is not implied. Foul language is likely, but intolerant viewpoints are not. Listener intoxication is advised. Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Whiskey Tangent Podcast. I'm Scott.
And I am Ed.
And tonight we're getting on a plane and heading back to the Emerald Isle. That's right, Ireland, the place where potatoes go to die. To visit a pair of higher expressions of Irish whiskey than the ones we featured way back in episode 6. Our rather Irish-named friends Shavonne and Gabe are joining us.
Hi.
Top of the morning to you.
And Ed's going to start us off by introducing the triple distilled whiskeys we chose, and then we'll talk about the triple celebration we're having here tonight.
Ooh.
Right, Scott, thanks. So the first thing we have is a Redbreast single pot still Irish whiskey 12-year, which is delicious. And to back that up, we'll be tasting the tantalating Green Spot single pot still Irish whiskey, triple distilled, of course.
Wait, what was that word? Tantalizing?
Titillating.
Titillating?
Titillating.
Tantalating.
Tantalizing.
It was a mixture
Or
of titillating and tantalizing.
Yes,
Titillating and
tantalizing.
tantalizing.
Right, I meant tantalizing, but I said titillating. Tantalating?
You know, if you mix the wrong
fine.
words, you can get fired.
Panty lining.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay.
So,
All right, yes.
So the Green Spot and the Redbreast, red and green, will it be go or stop?
Oh.
Only we can tell.
Nice.
And with Gabe and Siobhan's help, we'll figure out which one of these Irish expressions is worth the extra couple dollars.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
So before we do this, the triple celebration that I mentioned.
Yes.
So the first of the three,
It's for Scott and I.
yes, is the Whiskey Tangent Podcast's 1-year anniversary of our first recording.
Right.
Wow.
Great.
We are one day past that, yeah.
On January 31st, 2019 was the first time that Scott and I recorded. And actually, when did we do the one that we didn't do? With a practice one? Was that a practice
Oh,
one?
I don't remember when the practice one was, yeah.
Right. The first one we actually recorded and published was done on January 31st, 2019.
Right, we have an episode 0 that nobody has ever heard.
Right.
Because it's terrible.
It's in the vaults.
It's in the vault. And
You should release it.
When
Really
we're
should.
dead, Prince's family will put it out on a CD.
It's like that pilot of Game of Thrones that they did originally, and they hated it, and then they rejiggered the whole process, and then it became a great show.
Well, what I heard from that is we're as great as Game of Thrones.
Yes,
That's what I heard.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Game of Thrones and then the rest of the world.
Okay, so the second one, Ed, if you will do the honors of the second
Yes,
one.
I will. Sure. So it's Gabe's 50th birthday, and you only turn 50 one time. Though every time I turned 51 and 52 over the years, I felt like, God, 50 was so good. Oh, yeah, light the candles. He almost lit the pop filter on fire, which would have been hysterical. And
I'm touched. I really am.
and so we got him a candle
cry,
with
Gabe.
a
Please don't
cake with
cry.
5 candles.
I told myself I wasn't going to cry, and
It's
I'm
a-
not.
It's a rustic.
Maybe later.
Yeah, I mean, come on, give him a quick handy. It's his birthday, for Christ's sake.
All right.
Hello.
I was talking to Scott, but anyway, so
Too late. I got here too late.
oh my God, there's 10 fingers on him now. It's a dream come true. So,
Thank you.
Gabe, make a wish.
Make a wish, and we'll sing happy birthday.
Should we sing happy
Well, we have
birthday?
to sing happy birthday first, right?
Right.
Right.
What Scott just brought me was a small cake with candles on it.
It's
and
a rustic spice cake.
It's very nice. There's a bit of frosting that's like looked like it's been.
It's stuck to the box.
It's either stuck to the pulled off on the box or Scott licked it, which I don't care.
Both are
We're drinking
enjoyable.
whiskey and all the germs are going to be washed
What
away.
amazed
anyway.
me is Scott didn't lick it off the corner of the box when he took it out. Like it's right there to be licked
Yeah.
off.
But
Right.
I do appreciate the thought, and I'm touched. I really am. Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to
you.
Gabe.
Oh.
Gabe.
Happy birthday to Gabe. Happy birthday to Gabriel.
Me.
Happy
birthday
to you.
All right, make a wish. Both
Make a
hands
wish and
up.
blow it again.
Oh, wow.
All righty. he did
Nice.
it.
Wow, nice.
He still has good lungs.
He's recovered from the crack in the 80s. He's
Yes,
done really well now.
he has.
Or the black lung, whatever.
Right.
Right. He was a coal
I
miner.
just got it back.
Daughter.
My favorite movie of
Coal
all
miner's daughter.
time. It really is my favorite movie. I
Is
love
it?
So
Really?
is it cake it or do we get him a present?
Oh, we also got him a present.
Oh yeah, get him
Oh,
a
wow.
present.
But wait, there's more.
This
It's
is
his
a
50th birthday.
total birthday celebration,
Wow,
folks.
I'm honestly touched. This is so nice. I thank
And,
you.
oh, a gift bag and all.
Wow.
It's a nice celebratory looking
Right.
bag.
And it's from both of us. And
It looks
the
like
podcast.
it could contain a bottle.
It's bottle sized
sure.
bag. That's
That's
for sure.
surprising.
Should I open it?
Please,
It couldn't possibly be whiskey.
please.
I'm feeling it now. It feels glass like inside the container.
Does it feel round and bulbous?
I'm going to pull it out now.
Pull it out, please.
Please.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Oh,
In theme of the Irish whiskey.
wow. Teeling's Irish Whiskey, small batch in the rum cask, which we did way back a long time ago.
Episode 11.
Episode
Yeah.
11. Ed
Loved it.
had one taste and suddenly became one of his favorite Irish whiskeys.
It
Mine
just-
too. I mean, it's delicious.
It just got ordered for our locker.
Thank
at
you,
our
guys.
Whiskey
I
Lounge.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Very
Happy birthday.
I was looking
Happy
to buy another
birthday,
bottle,
Gabe.
and now I don't have to.
Yep, there you go.
Thank you.
Now you got your own.
All right, so the third of our celebrations
Right, which we actually
Thanks.
was joked about
earlier.
off the air.
So, Gabe, this marks your 5th episode on the Whiskey Tangent podcast.
Wow.
He's also been in 3 other shorts,
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
but we're going by episodes.
Frequent
and
flyer.
Ed, please present him with his 5-time
Wow.
Whiskey Tangent smoking jacket.
That is great.
I kidded about this a couple episodes ago. I joked that, like SNL's 5-time hosting club, we should get a red smoking velour jacket.
And that is what
Ed
we
is
have.
presenting me with a red smoking jacket. It says Whiskey Sherpa.
On the one lapel.
On one lapel it says Whiskey Sherpa. On the other lapel, Gabe, 5-time host, Whiskey Tangent. That is classic.
Yeah.
Where the hell did you find that?
We bought it separately, so he got the jacket somewhere and then took it to get embroidered.
It's incredible.
It got finished 2 hours ago. I was standing watching the guy finish it.
I guess I got to try it on. I guess
Yeah, you definitely have
Yeah.
to put it
Taylor
on.
wants to
We
try
have
it
to
on.
make sure this fits.
Cry.
Oh, it fits.
Oh, it fits perfectly.
Perfect.
Dude,
Wow.
It looks amazing.
it looks awesome.
I've got to take a picture of this.
Thank you.
You got to put it on Twitter, your Twitter
Yeah,
page.
yeah. Maybe it'll be the logo for the episode. Gabe in the background with the whiskeys on either side of him.
But it's beautiful. It's a heartfelt present, and I am honestly touched.
Well,
thank you.
We had a lot of fun putting that together. I'll tell you that much right now.
We did.
I'm really touched. That was great.
But the best part is we had it for 2.5 months before we started getting embroidered. It just got finished being embroidered today, even though we've had it for 3 months because we're both fucking assholes.
Right.
And like Scott had it for like a month. And like I don't know how to do this. Like,
I can't.
I'm
I
like,
don't
you go to
know.
Philly every day. There's like I don't know what to do. I'm like, all right, just give it to me. I'll do it.
The timing was great. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so those are the 3 celebrations we had to do, and now we're going to try Redbreast.
Right. So the first whiskey we're talking about is Redbreast, which has an interesting history. The first actual expression of Redbreast came out in 1903, and at that point, it was originally produced by Gilbey's, a Dublin spirit merchant that was using distillerates sourced from the Jameson Bow Street distillery plant. Which, by the way, in the 1980s, the brand was eventually purchased by Irish Distillers, who is the producer of Jameson. So Jameson, you could say, owns Redbreast, if that makes it easy for everybody. Yeah. And of course, Jameson is the largest selling Irish whiskey in the world. So it's not a bad company to keep. And we talked about them in episode 6.
We did.
It's the same Gilbey's company that makes the gin,
I believe so.
the lower end gin, the lower shelf.
The Gilbey's gin and vodka, they were...
Yeah, the plastic 1.75 lower shelf bottle.
There's
Maybe.
actually something lower than Seagram's.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be surprised.
You have to like get to the subfloor to get to it.
Oh,
Right.
God.
It's that low on the shelf.
It's with Old Crow. It's under the floorboards.
You got to pull up a hatch,
Yeah.
blow out the dust.
sounds so
Go on,
awful.
go ahead, Ed. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Is it?
In 1985, well, let me try it again.
Okay.
Edit.
I'm seeing stuff I've never seen before. That's the problem.
There's a reason why edit begins with Ed.
It.
We'll keep that in for sure.
Yeah.
That's not ever getting out.
That's comedy gold. We're going to bring that up every episode.
But thank you for the jacket. Very nice.
Now get out.
I'm touched.
Next time, bring better animal crackers, will you?
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, the first official mention of the word Redbreast was 1912, though the expression that was Redbreast came out in 1903. It just changed names in 1912. In 1971, Irish Distilleries closed all of its Dublin distilleries, including the Bow Street, and consolidated production into the New Middleton plant in County Cork. But the 12-year expression that we're enjoying now was initially launched in its present form in 1991. Other ones that are available is the 12-year-old cask strength, 114.4 proof.
Whoa.
They also have a Redbreast 15-year-old, which I've had that.
15-year-old or the Redbreast 15?
Redbreast
Wait.
15-year-old, yeah.
Wait, the breasts are 15 years old?
No, that's not
Let's
appropriate.
watch how we say this here.
Yeah.
That's not
please.
appropriate, and you know that. Redbreast 15-year-old Irish whiskey is 92 proof, 46% alcohol by volume. And all of them, including the 21-year-old expression,
21? Damn.
they're all...
That's way too old, right?
Legal.
Legal.
The key to all of them, real quick, they are all finished in a combination of American bourbon casks and the Oloroso sherry casks as well.
All right. We have some in our glasses.
Let's taste it.
We're going to taste it neat and then on the rocks.
All right, let's do that.
And what is the proof on this one?
This is 80.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very approachable.
Yeah, it hits your nose pretty quickly.
Yeah.
With not great heat, but it's very noticeable.
Like all Irish whiskey,
It's like a dash of heat.
It's made from malted and unmalted barley, and then triple distilled in copper pot stills.
It's good. The heat comes quickly, and it dissipates, fairly quickly as well.
Unless you drink it back to back.
We don't have to rush here.
Okay, we'll take
What
it
do you get on the
slow.
nose?
Enjoy it.
I'm not getting anything on the nose because I have a cold.
A little fruity aroma.
There's a citrus going on with the nose. Yeah, there's. I can't place it, but there's definitely a citrusy grapefruit, maybe.
Siobhan, what are you getting? You're shaking your head.
Getting like a lemony.
Oh.
Something very sharp.
For Irish whiskey, I feel it's very full flavored. It's not thin.
I agree. I usually describe some Irish whiskeys
Like,
as thin.
We
and
feel
this is not.
Bushmills is like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Very sweet, very...
Yeah, I concur. It lingers heavy on your tongue.
I definitely taste the sherry finish. It's very
Yes.
overt to me.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
overt in the flavoring.
I really like it.
And any fruitiness I get is from the sherry finish. And there is a spiciness. I'm getting pepper like in the back of my
Yes.
throat right now.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
peppery.
a lot of Irish whiskeys, you're going to get a little pepperiness, and that's from the full barley mash.
It kind of lingers on the palate a bit, which is... I found a lot of Irish whiskeys just kind of fall off a cliff for me at the end, which is not bad. It's just how they are.
It does have a good... this does have a good finish.
Everything you said, I agree with. It's not dying out. It's holding on your tongue. It's not thin. It's got
No.
a full, rounded taste. And I'm not one to know about sherry, but
Right, I haven't had much sherry myself.
yeah,
A lot of gentlemen haven't.
unless you're Steve Perry.
Oh, sherry.
I love.
Hold on. On the nose.
Steve Perry had a big nose, by the way.
That's true. Master of Malt says, nutty, rich, and oily. There are notes of dried peels,
Oh, there's your lemon, Siobhan.
Yeah.
Okay.
ginger, linseed, and cut fruits,
All right. I can taste the ginger now. Yeah.
including a touch of melon. That's on the nose.
Yeah.
The palate is spicy with great body.
Absolutely. That describes it to a T.
Nuts and citrus, peel and juice,
Citrus.
with
peel.
hints of marzipan, dried fruits, and a hint of sherry.
Marzipan. They always got to
Marzipan.
fucking put marzipan in and make me want to punch him in the throat.
There's
there-
no reason for that.
Is there any red licorice?
I swear on Christ.
Ed's getting violent. And the finish is long and creamy with custard and spice.
No, what I didn't say, by the way, was on the box it said this: matured. Because we're not mature, what I didn't say was matured.
We're not mature.
Matured in a combination of
that
bourbon
again.
seasoned American oak barrels and Oloroso sherry seasoned Spanish oak butts. The distinctive Redbreast sherry style.
No, we're not matured.
I knew I couldn't get away with Spanish butts in here. Not somebody.
You said Spanish butts, and like,
Who doesn't like a
I
Spanish
reacted.
butt once
There
in
is
a while?
nothing
Yeah.
wrong with eating and or drinking ass.
Forever.
oh wow, wow.
Hello, left field. Woo! Where'd you come from, J-Lo?
Oh, man, I'll do a little.
Talk about some Spanish butts.
Hello.
I'll do some felching later. Anyway, first.
Oh,
Shake
my
that thing.
Eat that ass.
Congratulations, Ed. I think that is the first time we've mentioned felching on the
Hey,
Whiskey Tangent
who wants
podcast.
salad? I'll toss it.
Rim jobs for everyone.
Gabe, toss me a salad. I'm trying to eat healthier.
Here, hold on. Put your hands out.
In front of me while I steady myself.
We've gone off the rails.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
pour mine.
I'm curious to see how this tastes on the ice. Yeah, pour it in your ice tumblers.
I have to tell you, it's actually
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Oh, now it tastes like chocolate milk.
Does it?
No, I didn't taste
I
it.
know.
I'm just being contradictory just to get a rise out of you
It
people
really
and your Spanish butts.
I mean, Irish whiskey is always a little risky when you put it on ice or drop some water in because it's starting at 80. Mm-hmm. But just a little bit of the
Tempers down that pepper, man.
Really,
It
really
brings
changes
out the
flavor.
creaminess
Yes,
right off the bat.
It does. Absolutely.
Right, you guys are exactly right. The spice is reduced, but the creaminess is increased.
Wow, I feel now.
Wow.
I liked it before, but wow.
It's like I just open up like a little half and half creamer shot and just
Right, because you don't have
stuck
to,
my tongue in it.
You don't have to sip it now. Now
Right.
you can actually take a
just
drink. Yeah.
And not only that, but I'm almost kind of feel like butterscotch. Not, you know, it's
No. I
smoothness.
completely
Yeah.
agree with you.
Get a little bit of that, sure.
There is definitely a butterscotch to it.
A little bit of waters in there.
You got to wear this, man.
Hello, word of the original?
All right, so Ed, you said this was a single pot still, correct?
Correct. In
All right.
fact, if I can read the box for a minute, Scott,
It's like,
Why the hostility?
I was just being emphatic.
and angry.
I'm just going to
Not
say
at all.
Spanish butts one more time while Ed
Redbreast.
reads the box.
Ow.
Redbreast is regarded by many as the definitive expression of single pot still Irish whiskey, according to Redbreast.
Right. This just in from Redbreast. We're the best.
They have declared themselves.
We love us.
Yeah, right.
We love
Hey,
our
guess what?
stuff. It's
In a
great.
survey of us, we've decided we're the best.
In a totally biased taste test, we think our shit's awesome. We love
Right.
us.
When I went to your schools, when I went to your churches,
Oh, no, what is that?
suicidal tendencies.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that is.
All I wanted was a Pepsi, just one Pepsi, and she wouldn't give it to me. You guys don't know that song?
No.
Spanish butts.
Forever, whenever.
I
A
think
Shakira reference.
you got follow up.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I mentioned the single pot still, there are several different types of Irish whiskeys, and their names can be confusing. So there's single pot still, which is what we're drinking right now with the Redbreast, and also with the Green Spot. That is a mash of malted and unmalted barley distilled in a pot still and produced by a single distillery. It is typically triple distilled, and it is the type of the two whiskeys we have tonight.
Very popular with Irish whiskey. Redbreast is definitive Irish whiskey expression, in my opinion.
Now, what does this go for?
The Redbreast, I bought it tonight for $55.99.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's very good.
I'm sure they think it's reasonable. I'd love it at $45.99,
Did you try to negotiate,
but no,
Ed?
no. I have a really good liquor store near me, but they're very nice Indian people.
You're going to
It's
have to edit this out. But did you try to...
There's no dickering with those people.
Dick...
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I tend to get inside people's heads, right, Scott?
That's true, Gabe.
We share a brain a lot of
We
times.
do. So there's also single grain, which is a mash of different grains.
I usually get my head inside of Gabe, but go ahead. Just a tip.
Oh, Jesus.
So Gabe's the power bottom.
Anyway, single grain.
He tops from the bottom all the time, Shavonne. You don't even know. It's so annoying. I want him just in the jacket. Just.
Ow.
You know, I like the podcast, but they got really gay recently.
Do it. But
Like too many gay jokes for me. I just had to turn it off. It's
But
like,
is Gabe a twink in the
Yeah.
jacket?
Yeah.
Like,
Going
is he
off the
like...
rails.
Gabe
being
is
like,
not
oh,
a. There's
You're way-
There is nothing twink
way
about
too
Gabe.
detailed about the joke.
Or
Now
is
we're
he
getting
a-
into
or
I
is
like,
he
believe
a
if I was,
panda?
I'd be technically termed a bear.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But wait,
With
isn't
that-
there
with
a
that
term for a
goatee.
little bear?
Also a daddy bear, I think.
You think of that, but, you know,
Yeah.
they have a term for a small bear. Is that panda?
Cub.
Cub.
Right.
See?
Gabe and I, we all
think
know,
Gabe
we know
could
all
be
the
like
gay
a-
slang.
I wonder why.
Can I get back to the greens? Can I get back to the
Okay,
types?
fine. I guess it's your podcast or whatever.
By the way, we are hetero, just to clarify.
Well, with each other.
right. We have never.
Oh, you
right.
just confused them again.
We've never been gay with each other.
Right. So anyway, there's single grain, which is mash of different grains.
I'm
but
very
made-
confused of single grain. I've never had it.
Right. So it's not all barley. It's corn
Oh, okay.
with a bit of malted barley like a bourbon.
Okay.
But it's made in Ireland, so they can't call it a bourbon.
I see.
It's also distilled in a column still, as opposed to a pot still, and produced by a single distillery.
So confusingly, single grain whiskey does not mean whiskey made from a single grain. It means grain whiskey made at a single distillery.
This is a light to medium bodied style like Teeling's.
which I also received. Thank you.
Right.
Now we have something called a single malt.
Which is very big in the Scotch world and
It
filters
is.
into the Irish whiskeys by being what, Scott?
It is a mash of 100% malted barley, so no unmalted barley.
Right.
And that is also distilled in a pot still, produced by a single distillery.
It seems like our guests are occupied
Yeah,
with themselves.
they don't care. We're trying to. This is the knowledge part. This is the knowledge part of the podcast.
I'm sorry, we're podcasting over here. I'm sorry for interrupting your conversation.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Sorry.
We're having a conversation over here.
I guess we're boring with the actual knowledge.
Oh God, are we going to get educated?
Yeah.
God.
There's just
Mumbo jumbo.
there's
Yummy.
guys. There's only one more.
Pot still, yumbo.
Right. So this is our information before we drink the green spot. Then the episode's over.
Right. So the fourth main style is blended. Now that's basically the most popular expression, and it could be any of the previous mentioned styles in a variety of combinations. They're your Jameson, your Powers, the two we featured on episode 6, as well as notables like Bushmills and Middleton is actually a blend.
Right.
It's sometimes referred to as traditional Irish whiskey. So there you have it. Your single pot still, your single grain, your single malt, and your blends.
Now, I know for a fact I don't care for blended scotches.
I don't like.
I do like
I don't like. One thing I can tell you, I don't like all day today.
Is what?
I don't know. She's being extra.
Yes, I'm being extra. Just picking on you, Ed. Come on, you're supposed to laugh, not consternation.
I didn't hear what you said. Oh, you said one thing I don't like all day, Ed. That's what you said.
All day.
Oh, well, that's fine. I'm all right with that. I'm kind of mad that we didn't cut the cake yet. That's really.
Oh, we will.
I can give you cake.
You want to stop and cut the cake, and then we'll come back with a green spot?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure, let's
Finish
do
our
that.
Redbreast, and then.
All right, we're going to
cut some
stop,
cake.
cut some cake, and we'll be back.
So Scott has poured us an ample amount of the green spot single pot still Irish whiskey.
I have.
Scott, what did this cost you? Let's start with that. $55.99 for my Redbreast. What did this cost?
This costs $62.99.
I sold it for $59.95 next to my Redbreast, but I didn't buy it because you already bought it.
Right. So it was, what, $3 cheaper?
There's $3 we'll never get back.
Chatter.
Stop. What? The two of you are going to be put in timeout. I'm going to turn off your microphone.
No, please.
Can we have whiskey with the timeout?
Yes.
Did everyone like the cake?
Oh, it was
By the way,
delicious.
yeah, it
It was
was.
a lovely
so-
spice cake with some
Yes.
white frosting. It was
Yeah,
delicious.
thank you, Trader Joe's, because it was either that or Valentine's Day cakes shaped like hearts.
And Valentine's Day is my birthday.
That's right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
But this one's mine.
That's right. It's all about Gabe, not about me.
Yeah, it's all about
I'm
Gabe,
having
isn't
a
it?
wonderful pre-birthday.
I promised Shavonne some analingus on her birthday.
Really?
I will hold you to that.
I love Ireland.
That
Not
week.
air lingus, anal lingus.
Oh, there's a difference?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know.
You ever
Be
been
careful.
You ever been inside an Irish cockpit before?
Hello.
That means it's salads only all next week.
Yep, that's right.
Who wants the salad sauce?
Yep.
The salad sauce?
Yep.
Or the salad tossed? Hello.
I'm so
Hello.
Yep.
Those are some terrible Irish accents you just put out there.
Everybody.
Suck my shillelagh.
All right, so the green spot is also a single pot still, just like Redbreast, matured in, again, a combination of bourbon and sherry casks for between 7 and 10 years, and it's made in small batches.
Right. And in case you think it's copying off of Redbreast, it's like older than Redbreast.
It's not.
It
as
is older than
sharp
Redbreast.
As Redbreast.
And we'll get to that in the history, but
It comes off sweet right off the bat.
Yes.
And good. Sweet with early heat.
Sweet with a little bit of bite.
Lingering a little bit, but not too long.
yeah, this is nice.
I have to pace
This-
myself.
But it has a very similar taste.
It does.
I mean, it's
I just poured myself some more Redbreast.
a comparison taste. What do you think?
It's got an oily mouthfeel right off the bat as well. It coats the tongue nicely.
Yes, it does.
Got a bit of a burn in the back of the throat.
You tell me, Scott. I want to hear what you have to say. I know what I think.
Nice.
What's this?
That's Redbreast.
Okay.
Now hit yours real quick.
That one really has a bite.
The two of these definitely are not your typical Irish whiskeys. That's for sure. There's a lot of depth in these things.
What do you think?
Well,
Scott?
that was interesting. Tasting them one after the other, this tastes much spicier.
Yeah.
with Green Spot.
Which has more character or foundation, or like body, if you will.
I think the green one does.
I think
has a more
I think
bite.
the Green Spot's a little
got
bit.
bite. It's got more depth.
Let me
more,
be clear
more
on
feel,
this.
Yeah.
more body.
I want to be clear. I think the Redbreast is amazing, but I think the Green Spot's got a little bit more character. I think it's a little bit more dense and a little more, like Gabe would say, oily on the tongue.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised because I thought Redbreast was going to carry the day, but I think Green Spot might be winning for me today.
It's very surprising. Do you guys agree?
I agree in the sense that it lingers a lot longer.
It
than,
does. The finish is
Yes.
longer to me.
So I'm going to add mine to ice. The
Especially being
remainder
that
of
it's
mine,
young-
I'm going to
that
add it
it's-
to ice
that
and
it's
see
a
what
little
the
bit
difference
younger.
is.
Yeah, I'm putting mine on ice right now. The Green Spot.
So from the same site, themasterofmalt.com, that I got the tasting notes for the Redbreast, here are the tasting notes for Green Spot. So on the nose, hints of peppermint, malt, sweet barley, sugary porridge, creamy vanilla, papaya, and citrus. That's a lot.
The papaya is obnoxious.
I
I'm
can
gonna
see a
call
lot
that.
of those, though.
Right.
I actually see a lot. I was working with them even through the sugar what?
Sugary porridge.
All right.
It's the fruit.
Yeah,
It's the
because we
fullness.
I
all.
was dealing with the sugary porridge until he went papaya on my ass.
I usually have a nice bowl of sugary porridge every morning.
Yeah,
Don't you, though?
With some papaya on the side.
Who the fuck eats porridge?
Is it too hot, too cold, or is it just right?
Thank you, Goldilocks.
Well, it depends on what bear you're talking to.
That's true. We talked about bears earlier. Anyway, on the palate, spicy and soft, gentle bourbon oak, green woods, menthol, and potpourri.
I actually taste a little menthol.
I will say the menthol is strong.
I kind of
I
see
told
what
you
you're
I
saying.
could taste it, yeah.
Could taste it.
I can taste the menthol, yes.
As an ex-smoker,
Yeah.
years ago, I've quit now for over 12 years.
What'd
by
you
the
smoke?
way.
What'd you smoke?
Marlboro Light menthols or Parliament menthols.
Oh, Parliament with a little
Because
recessed
because
tip.
I didn't have any taste back then.
I was Virginia Slim's Luxury Light 120s.
Nice.
Wow.
I was Marblite when I was a baby.
Is that you on the cover of the Van Halen
Yeah,
album?
then I went to the Camel exactly. Oh my God, you called it.
1984.
1984, right. And then Camel Crush. I liked it because it's like you smoke it tastes like a Marble Light, and then you crush it and it turns into a menthol and you can get cancer right away.
Right, it's got
Ooh.
that little carcinogenic little popper. That
I
you
remember-
squeeze it and then you suck in all the
I remember
carcinogens.
Scott was like, "What is that? Does that give you cancer right away when you crush
Right.
it?"
The sound of that crushing is like a headstone breaking apart.
Yeah,
For
it's like,
those
oh
that
my
don't want to
God.
wait 30 years.
Right. If you want cancer, crush now.
Here lies Ed, crushed.
So I've said quitting smoking is one of the greatest things I've ever accomplished. And I'm very proud of
Yes,
myself. And Gabe, I'm proud of you, Gabe.
Same
Proud of
here.
you.
I'm proud of you.
I quit too.
I'm proud of all of you because I had my first cigarette at 10 and I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it right away and I've never smoked.
That's how Scott felt about heroin at 11.
Yeah, it's true.
I had my first drink at 12. I got really messed up on gin and tonics watching the Beach Boys play on the Parkway in Philadelphia.
I
Yeah, that can't do it.
love
When you
the
were
Beach
12. Good
Boys.
parents, by the way, Gabe. Good
Wow.
parents.
We're going to play some Beach
Well, you
Boys
can-
when this is over.
Wow.
You can thank my brothers, and
He's
I have not looked back.
He's got 3 older brothers, so.
Yeah.
On the finish, it says creamy long finish and vanilla. That is
Creamy
fucking-
long finish was my nickname in college.
Whoa. Also vanilla.
Oh my God. I apologize to our 9 fans.
Creamy long finish vanilla. That's Ed.
That's it, vanilla.
That was your rapper name, wasn't it?
That's right. Right, creamy vanilla.
Creamy
Was
long
it
finish.
really
In
creamy
the
vanilla or
house.
creamy salty vanilla?
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, shit.
Creamy salty bleachy
Stop.
vanilla.
Shut your mouth and listen.
Oh, my God. We were
There's gonna be
so off the rails.
so much editing. to
Jesus.
this.
Okay, so Ed, you motherfucker, you just reached into my glass to take a piece of ice out of it to put in his drink. He has a whole glass next to him.
Are you trying to say
Ed's
his
not
hands may
known
be
for his
dirty?
decorum.
What I'm trying to say is he's fingered my glass.
It was more of a fisting.
It was more of a fisting because Ed's 2 fingers is basically everyone else's fist. Am I right? Like, look at his fingers.
2 fingers that could break a hymen.
Damn.
Jeez.
Shit, Shavonne.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ed. You might feel a little pinch here. It's nothing unusual.
God.
Let me know if this feels like a watermelon in your ass.
So Irish whiskey is
So the Spot Whiskey Distillery
You might
history.
feel a little pressure.
Can we have a little history now, Scott?
In 1803,
Is that your service?
Can you mute the right side of the table?
I can. All right. In 1803, upon the death of his close friend, the rebel Robert Emmet, William Mitchell decreed that all his firstborn children of each generation of the Mitchell family shall be called Robert. This tradition has continued right up to this day, with the current Mitchell, Robert Jonathan Mitchell, his son, Robert Mitchell VII. So there are a lot of Roberts behind the Spot Whiskey. Our single pot still family of Spot Whiskies find their roots in Mitchell & Son, one of Ireland's last remaining wine merchants and whiskey bonders. The spot whiskeys go back to 1805 and the days when Jameson's distillery would sell their new make spirit to bonders who matured them in wine and fortified wine cask. This is the same thing that Redbreast does.
I know. Jameson's just a whore.
In 1887, the entrepreneurial Mitchell family expanded into the whiskey bonding business, whereby they sent empty wine, sherry, and port casks via horse and cart to the local Jameson distillery up on Bow Street. These were then filled and returned to the Mitchell's cellar warehouse underneath Fitzwilliams Lane, and underneath the cobblestone streets, the whiskeys matured for many years until they were ready to be bottled and sold to those in the know. When their fortified wine casks were filled, they were marked with a spot of paint, which identified how long the barrels would be matured for. Blue for 7 years, green for 10 years, yellow for 12 years, and red for 15 years. Hence the name Spot Whiskey. During Prohibition and World War II, like a lot of Irish whiskeys, they kind of like went out of business and they were kind of doing it very low volume. But it is a testament of the Mitchell's family resolve and the pure love of loyalty of the people to Green Spot that our whiskey bonder era style of whiskeys have fought on and have lived to tell the tale. Green Spot Whiskey.
So dramatic.
So I think before we go, I mentioned earlier in the intro about Gabe and Shavonne having Irish sounding names. And I looked up the derivations of your names.
But they are both from Hebrew. And Shavonne actually means God's grace. That's what I saw. And Gabriel means God's might. So we have God's might and God's grace sitting with us tonight.
Give me another drink.
And Ed, I
Yes.
think that's a good segue to end the podcast, finally.
Let me just say,
No, we're ending it already? It can't be.
I want to thank you guys for all the wonderful accolades and gifts and everything. The jacket was very nice. The Teelings, I appreciate it. And I love you guys. Thank you.
You're welcome, bro.
Aw,
Happy
we love
birthday.
you,
Thank
Gabe.
you.
Thank you guys for having me. I really had a great time.
I'm checking out the meaning of Edward because no one gives a fuck what my name
No,
is.
I know what it means. I looked up yours too. It means treasure guardian. The Ed part is from Irish or Gaelic for Eid, which is treasure, and ward means guard. My name means of Scottish descent, of course, but also painted warrior.
Oh, well.
Drag
like-
queen.
No, I was thinking Braveheart, but yeah, okay. Okay, now we're definitely ending the podcast now.
So I want to thank Gabe and Shavonne for joining us. Our message to you from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast is if you want to try a step up in Irish whiskey, either Green Spot or Redbreast is worth it.
Yeah.
Which one you like better will be your particular choice.
Yeah, I think I like the Green Spot.
I like the
teens
Green
better.
Spot a teeny bit better.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's just a little more body and flavor to it.
It
Yeah.
is. It depends
Both
on what
good.
you're looking for. If you're looking for a little
true.
bit something more smoother with the ice, I'd go with
All right,
the
so you
red
can really
breast.
taste a $5
Did you
difference.
really just cut me off?
I'm agreeing with you.
He doesn't.
Ed's good for that, yeah.
I was agreeing with you. It's a $5 increase. That's what you're tasting.
Yes, that's very true. Absolutely. Yes,
that is
I agree.
true.
I agree. Could have waited till after.
You're right.
Shade.
Mumble.
Siobhan means
Siobhan,
shade.
start again.
in
All right, Siobhan, do it
Irish.
again.
Son
Go
of a
ahead.
bitch.
No,
seriously.
no, it's fun.
No, we can edit it. Go ahead. Do it again.
I really enjoyed it. Totally fell into that one. My God. What am I, 5?
All cut off.
God.
For Christ's sake, push the stop button.
No, we have to say goodbye.
to wrap it
Everyone's
up.
got to say goodbye.
God, you got some work to do.
So that's been our episode on Green Spot and Redbreast
Yes.
Irish whiskey.
Yep.
We want to thank Gabe and Siobhan for joining us.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
very much. Thank you for
And
having
so
us.
for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
And keep drinking and being responsible and just, loving each other in a great Irish whiskey way.
All right. Later.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, be sure to check out our next episode, which is way better than this one.
Oh, yeah.
Also, follow and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/whiskeytangent. And follow us on Twitter at Whiskey Tangent. You can follow me personally at That Whiskey Guy, and follow Scott at Giant Cup of Awesome, spelled AWSUM, just to be annoying.
Hey!
You can email us any questions, comments, or love at whiskeytangent@gmail.com. And of course, you can find us always at our podcast website, whiskeytangent.podbean.com.